Hello and welcome to the Communication Skills short lecture on verbal communication. This section will cover some of the concepts of language and how they could possibly lead to communication problems. There will be four main ideas covered: jargon, slang, equivocal words, and relative words. Now before we get to that, language is something that all of us are familiar with and something we use every day, whether written or spoken, in order to share thoughts, ideas and feelings, or ask questions and give instructions. However, it's often the words we use that can get us into problems, as you might have experienced yourself. So, here are some types of words that lead to communication problems. Firstly, there's jargon. Jargon refers to words that are highly specific to a particular profession or area of study, or the language developed by a professional group. Here are some examples of medical jargon. Can you figure out what they are referring to? Now, these are all medical conditions that are common: cardiac arrest, nasal congestion, hypertension, and acute viral rhinopharyngitis. It's quite a mouthful. Could you think of some IT-specific jargon that you have come across? Why don't you write some down and share them in class with your lecturer? Okay, moving on. What about slang? Slang refers to words that are used by a particular group of people who share a common interest or belong to a similar co-culture. In contrast with jargon, these words are often used in informal settings. Here are some examples of British slang. Can you guess what they are? Bloke, cheesed off, chuffed, and skive. Now, thinking about your own country or culture, can you give some examples of slang? Alright, moving on. Now, we come to equivocal words. Say that really fast a couple of times. Equivocal words are words that have more than one correct meaning. Here are some examples. Now let's take the word cookie. A cookie could be a baked sweet treat, most often containing chocolate chips. Or a cookie, when used in the context of internet browsing, refers to a small text file that is stored in a user's computer either temporarily for that session or permanently on the hard disk, and is created by a website. Check out Cookie Monster. He's confused. Now let's look at another example. The word mean. Are the meanings of the word mean in these pictures the same? If they're different, how are they different? Okay, moving on. This is the last one. Relative words. These are words that we use all the time. However, they become problematic simply because they are comparative in nature and do not hold or describe an absolute value. Here are some examples of relative words: big or small, fast or slow, cheap, expensive. Can you think of ways they become problematic when used in communication? Alright, so we've come to the end of verbal content, and to recap, there are four things that we talked about: jargon, slang, equivocal words, and relative words. And these are the ways in which language can cause communication problems. Reflecting on what competent communicators do, as we've talked about in the last session, how can we overcome some of these problems now that we are aware of them? Let's discuss that. That's it for now. Check out nonverbal communication next. Ta!